Chapter 6, picking up where we stopped last week. Next, Creator made their bodies, their hands of the spirit of light and the spirit of manifesting. From these two spirits came first woman and first man. Their arms of the spirit of lifting, of embracing the heart. Their bodies of the spirit of love, and they were made of time and carrying. Their legs of the spirit of movement, that movement might become. Their feet of the spirit of awareness of self and the spirit of entering inwardly, for they would leave trails full of their light because their tracks were wisdom's walk. Their knees of the spirit of completing cycles, their backs of the spirit of emptiness, their stomachs for the spirit of holding time, that they might be able to stay crystallized before returning beyond the beyond to timelessness and no form. Metaphors of postures or actions. Sitting became greatness. Standing became questing. Walking became timelessness, walking inside the ice crystals of truth as it had chosen to be carried by Hu, exhalation. Holding became the living truth of the great mystery of all things. Carrying became another word for the principal idea of God. Talking became the omnipresence, tuning to the cosmos. Kneeling became to bring the being of completion. Sleep dreaming became the healing present of the vast self beyond duality. Resting became the living, inner vitality of the self within, bonding with power. Running became the bonding with all relativities. Walking slowly became the cosmic heart, the washing, the healing heart. Walking fast became the hunting aspect of consciousness, of inner awareness. Thinking became heart thinking. Miscellaneous metaphors. Bells. The bell sounds are what enter between the slices of light and irrigate light with essence. Bells originate from the idea of insight. Bell means, in metaphor, the strike of light that slices the ice crystals that are filled with wisdom. Therefore, when we have a new insight, there is a strike of light that occurs. This strike of light carries the sound of the bells. The bell sound carries with it the power to awaken and lift that which it awakens. The bell is that moment when lightning strikes. Whatever it strikes, it awakens and gives consciousness. The bell is the best metaphor to use to describe cognizance. When we have cognizance, 5 bells ring out, although we don't always hear the bells. When these 5 bells or vibrations ring out, they imprint in the psyche the idea as vibration. The bell is the call for us to enter into an action that presents us with a potential to move in some given direction. The bell can open the psyche to new understanding that comes from the beauty of the higher mind that is made up of beyond the heavens. The bells bring into consciousness an element of vibration or energy that connects the mind to the heart and the heart to the mind. The bell also connects the heart to the periphery of the circle of consciousness. In other words, if we could see a circle of light, the bell is the energy coming from the periphery of the circle of light to the center, or the energy that is going from the center to the periphery of the circle of light simultaneously. The land of giants. Once, when I was plowing fields, I took a break in the late afternoon and lay on my back to rest. My body was warm and there was perspiration on my back. And then I looked up into the sky. I saw 2 giant beings watching me. I knew that they knew that I had caught them because I imprinted them into my psyche. One stood up and walked away. The other, still watching me, slowly stood up, still looking down at me, and being hesitated momentarily, and then turned and walked away. As he did so, his back disappeared in increments beyond the sky's horizon. If you want your own experience with the land of giants, pick a late afternoon. Take a long walk first to build up heat in your body, and then lie down on your back in a grassy place and watch the sky horizons. Squint your eyes and look for a change in vision, an opening in the sky so that you will be able to see beyond the physical realities into the ultimate realities. Don't try too hard. Don't force it. Drumming. Drumming opens up 3 basic vibrations. Drumming awakens the self. Drumming heightens the ability of perception, and drumming enables the person to see into the deeper realms of the self. Drumming, by its very nature, creates a lifting energy which moves you very quickly to the next level of consciousness. That lifting quality is directly connected to the dynamic tension of energy struggling to achieve its highest potential. The sound that comes out of that awakened potential is the manifestation of new idea or a new form. It's another noisy day here in the neighborhood. Hold on just a moment. Drumming creates in the psyche of those people who listen to the drum a sense of abundance, a feeling that there is more than enough in life to sustain life. There's a feeling of strength, of being able to step forth with whatever one wants to change, because the power to sustain that change is in the drumming. The drumming sound helps persons listen to themselves as they really are. The kind of skin on the drum determines the kind of energy that is evoked. If the drum is covered with buffalo skin, you are calling buffalo energy. If it is elk skin, you are calling for elk energy. If a deer hide, then you are asking for deer energy. Buffalo energy is the energy of planting, the way energy plants itself onto itself. Elk energy is the energy of that point at which the imprint is created at the level of consciousness by the striking light. Up until that time, nothing is known, but once the imprint is made, that is elk medicine. The deer is the vibration that all the wisdom of all the potential possibilities is knowable. If, for instance, a person wants to open up a connection with a loving soul, or the group loving soul, or the soul of those who have gone before, then buffalo drumming might be used, whereas we would use elk to go to that place where new insights are appearing on the loving blackboard of consciousness, and we would use deer to align the loving of ourselves to infinite wisdom. It is important to remember the ancient meaning of life and know that everything has meaning. Forms are chosen with preciseness. Metaphors are not mixed. So when we use certain forms, such as a buffalo drum or an elk drum or deer drum, we are doing so to achieve certain results. Drum dancing. I was given a vision in which I saw a drum dance. Men and women dancers were moving rhythmically back and forth on an open field from inside a giant drum that was being played. The dancers were moving forward and backward because they were made of mimicking energy that was present in the here, the present, and then in the there, the future, and then returning to memory in orientation. The drum was made from a hollow log with a skin on it. The people who were playing the drum said that when doing a drum dance, the dancers could bring forth greatness because the wood is greatness and is what the drum is made from. The dancers would dance the vibration of the sound, bouncing back, present, and forth, future, and returning to past memory. Like the sound of waves which were bouncing back and forth inside the hollow log of the drum being played. This would be a way by which all physical life would pick up the resonating vibration of sound by which to shift consciousness. This could create the necessary planetary changes because the planetary energies wanted to dance effortlessly between the present, future, and memory of harmony. As a result of that vision, drum dances are held annually in the United States, in Europe, and in other places around the world. The way the drum dance works is that the dancers dry fast, which means eating and drinking nothing. They dance with intermittent periods of rest for a period of 3 days. During the first day, the dancers release emotional hindrances to their personal growth, such as anger or grief. By the second day, fatigue starts to set in. As the physical body surrenders, there is, at the same time, a sense of exhilaration, of transcending limitations and beliefs about oneself. The dancers begin to receive glimpses of other parallel realities. During the third day, a golden plate forms over the heads of the dancers, and another plate appears directly below on the ground at the feet of the dancers. From time to time, the energy spirals from the lower plate to the upper plate, connecting the earth energy with the sky energy. There's an indentation where each dancer has been standing, which specifically, symbolically, identifies that dancer's universal placement on his or her path in life. This vibration of golden light moves upward through each dancer into the atmosphere, where it becomes a ring of light that spreads around the earth. This light, then, is a part of the rain which falls on plant life, on the gardens and the forests, and on animal life. In time, this vibration of greatness gets into the food chain. People eat this vibration in their daily food and begin to experience moments of high essence in their lives. The drum dance offers an opportunity for those people who want to participate in the consciousness of the planet. In addition to what happens on a collective level, each dancer is uplifted mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Flute. The original idea of the flute was that it was the way by which the cycle could be completed between the masculine and feminine energies. In traditional Native American practices, the young men would play the flute for the young women in order to keep alive that ancient tradition of the visible calling the invisible. In the playing of the flute, a marriage or bond would form and complete the circle of the feminine and the masculine. The feminine starts the energy moving towards the sun and goes part way, and the masculine energy courts the vibration of the lover and brings it back into oneness on the physical plane. The flute is an instrument connecting the two worlds, the non-physical with the physical. The breath of the flutist is the breath of God coming through a hollow reed. The sound is that of the invisible lover courting the visible lover, the metaphor of the lover and the beloved. Rattle. The rattle is how to get in touch with the vibration of chi. The chi sound in the rattle calls into existence the wisdom that is held in the place of the icy cold plane. When the chi interacts with heat, psychic energy is created. When the cold energy of chi builds to a powerful resonance, it can then explode on contact with heat. At that moment, the potential power is awakened for a higher knowing. Physical heat, which is generated through effort or exertion, is important because as the heat rises in the physical body of a human being and it collides with the cold temperature, chi energy, a shift in consciousness is created. Storytelling. Stories are told in the wintertime because stories come from a place of ice, from a place way far away. This place of ice is so far away that it is really present in the eternal now. It is right here where we are, and yet it is not here. All of the teachings are frozen in this ice place. Out of this ice place comes the breath, the food that feeds the Creator, the cosmic Mother-Father. The Creator then proceeds to feed the spirit of the action being of cosmic consciousness. In this storage place made of ice sit all of the principal ideas. It is said that when stories are told in the wintertime, the ice melts with each story that is told. The water that melts from this frozen place is full of ideas. When this light, which is the water that drips off this frozen plain, falls like rain in tiny little droplets onto the mind of all living things on the planet, it fuses ideas with the mind. It endows the mind with the life-giving energy of chi, and when the physical beings of all levels, the plant beings or tree beings or human beings or four-legged beings, get this ice-cold spirit in their psyche, they manifest it through action. That is why work is necessary, to bring that cold light into the physical heat of consciousness through exercising mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It is through work that this energy vibration can be manifested into physical forms that can feed the soul of all things. 18 ideas. Here's a list of some fun ideas to contemplate that represent for me some of the energies of life on the physical plane. 1. Planet Earth is constantly giving life to all things on the earth, so that in the act of giving to us, she shows us all how to serve, to give to her and to ourselves. 2. First was the dream, and then the vision that became the walking, talking light of the one great mystery, which is all of us who are living on the earth. 3. Take. The Big Bang was created to initiate action, and from this came the first circle of light. Ta-he refers to a Tiwa myth in which two fawns, being pursued by the old giantess, hide inside the crack of a plow. When the plow maker hits the plow with his hammer, the fawns go flying out. 4. The eyes are the channels for the washing lights that bring clarity to ideas. 5. The rainbows are the hues, vibrations of the rock people, of life on the earth, and the rainbows represent, in metaphor, the breath of the butterfly of the dream time, the bridge to eternity. 6. The earth is the mother starship of the ancient ones. 7. Resonating energy is simply universal intelligence descending onto its own understanding of the vast greatness of its own creator inner self. 8. The idea of enteringness created the first form of the face. 9. Water is crystallized light, which produces physical light as well as spiritual light. Interestingly, the symbol for water in chemistry is the letter H, the number 2, and the letter O. In Tiwa, the sound of H-O, Hao, means little leaf. The leaf is the symbol for life. 10. From the first mist of the first cloud comes the idea of birthing as dropping from the biological mother's womb, and the thread that keeps us connected to our origins was primarily created to help us keep vigilance over what we do and say, right actions, right thoughts. 11. Life on earth is a living daily experience of inspiring qualities and inner knowing. We find them, these gems of truth, only as we are ready to acknowledge them in our own lives. 12. The light is always chasing the shadow, and the shadow is always following the light. 13. The breath is the key to all of the mysteries. 14. The breath is the infinite void from which all of creativity is first given life and then its purpose. 15. Dream essence of life is what heals life, whereas living life is the visionary part of it. 16. The first visionary who came from the first dream was in the dream state too, because he was dreaming his vision. That is, he was the dreamer and the one being dreamed. Consequently, all of life is simply made up of a healing state that is dreaming itself beyond itself. 17. The eyes are how the great mystery sees, how it holds on, moment by moment, holds to the gifts of each moment before the next moment happens, bringing with it its own face. 18. The earth is a large stone, which is the holder and the keeper of all the mysteries that created the life potential here on the earthly home of the people. Having read these ideas, go outside and sit on a rock that has been heated by the sun. As you sit on the stone, the warmth of the rock will travel through all parts of your body, and when the radiant heat from the stone has traveled through all the different parts of your body, the knowledge that lives in what you have just read will be acknowledged and will appear in your life. Hereafter, you will get greater clarity on these principles.